Oh, well, I mean, I could have told you to get a job, but you wouldn't have got one, you bum bitch. Like,
praise the Lord, I was born to drive boat. Feeling like Slash in front of the chapel. I'm lean back with the Les Paul.
So yeah, man. What up?
It feels good to be back in the studio.
Shout out to episode number 10.
Episode number 10. Let's
Shout
go, baby.
out to episode number 10.
Let's go, baby. They said we wouldn't make it. Who said that?
To all you dreamers out there, it really can happen. Okay, so.
Oh, man.
Shout out to episode 10, man. We're keeping it going. We're keeping it fresh. Appreciate you. Health and wealth to almost everybody.
Health and wealth.
Health and wealth
baby.
to almost everybody.
Hey, man.
Not everybody, but almost.
It's good to be healthy again.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling better. Feeling a lot better.
Good.
Able to get back to normal, Able
Good.
to get back to... I was just itching for the pod. I was itching for the live pod.
The live pod. You are a live pod kind of guy.
I'm a live pod. I'm an energy guy.
You're a live pod kind of guy.
When we bring the energy in here, it's just different. I'm not saying it's not like, that the virtual one's not great. It's got its own perks to it. But when we're here, it's a whole different vibe.
I mean, it's good to be in person. It's good to see
be
you.
in person, yeah.
It's good to see you. Glad you're healthy. Glad you're doing your thing.
Yeah, so.
Glad you're back. We're happy to be back. For anybody
Sir.
who's subscribed, listening, comment,
Sir.
notification bells, the whole nine. We are fledgling.
Everything. Just press everything you can.
Everything you can so that YouTube throws us in the algorithms. We appreciate everybody's support who's supporting us right now. We are a fledgling podcast. So if you are listening to this or you are watching this, we really appreciate you coming and join us every week. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get to it. We got a lot to talk about this week.
We do have a lot to talk about. Are you okay? How was the drive?
The drive was chilling.
The drive was chilling?
Drive was very friendly to me
was
today.
It easy?
Yeah.
Nice little little drive.
Little drive.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, my commute was also easy.
Oh, yeah. From one room to another. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, my shit was also very easy. So, yeah, it was like a walk.
There you go, yeah. Nice breeze.
So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Drake just stays draking.
We just have a good Drake segment at this point.
Yeah, we should. Fuck. I wanted to stop talking to him, but shit, since we're in this business, I can't stop talking to him. Well, I mean, we're in the music business.
There you go.
And Drake is I can say it, Drake is one of the biggest artists out there.
Right.
Right? So, if you want to say best, now we can fight. But he's one of the biggest artists out there. And so when he does stuff, you have to talk about it. You know what I mean? I prefer Kendrick. I prefer, shout out Lil Wayne, Real G's moving silence, but, whatever.
Go. Lasagna, baby. Lasagna. Let's go.
Right. But we got to talk about Lil Wayne.
Right.
All right. All right, Lil Wayne. Jesus. We got to talk about, we don't have to talk about Lil Wayne. We got to talk about Drake.
Oh, okay. I'll put all my Wayne takes away.
Yeah. Put him away.
Okay, I'll put him away.
He won't remember him anyway.
Oh, my God. I can't wait for when we have the Wayne episode. That's
going to be rough for me.
It's going to be, I can't wait.
I have some Wayne I like. It's just he's lower on my list than he is for everyone else.
Yeah. Do you think people still hold Wayne where?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think the Carter 3, whichever one of those, 2 or 3, whichever one, everybody's like, that's the greatest album.
Yeah.
I think that cemented like Wayne for everybody.
I see.
You know what I mean? And it was a good album. Like, I don't want to be here shitting on
Yeah,
Wayne.
Carter 3 was really good. I like Carter 2 a lot too. That's got a lot of...
I don't like any Wayne album enough to call it a classic.
Oh.
Right? So I'm like, oh, that was a good album. But people are like, oh, shit, I'm a fucking top 10 hip hop. I'm like, all right, calm the fuck down. Never done that. So we'll save that for another episode.
There you go.
Before we get into everything, what's the best thing you heard this week, my guy? So shout out to the best thing we heard this week. Have you been able to listen to anything that I suggested? The Chloe Party.
I listened
Blast.
to. So Party, I had touched on that album before, so I revisited it because you had listened to it, and you're still listening to it, from what I hear.
That's on heavy rotation for me right now. Yeah, that's a good album.
So I definitely see why you like it. I'm actually kind of surprised that you like it as much as you do, though.
Me too.
because that almost sounds like an album that I would bring to you as being like, I really like this album, and then you would be like, okay, I think it's okay. That's just off of, I think, generically how you would frame it, but when you dig deeper, right, I think that's what it really comes down to.
And this is why people struggle with my musical taste, because again,
they try to put you in a box.
Try to put me in a box.
Try to put you in a box.
I like good music.
Yeah.
So if I don't like it, that means it ain't good.
It's not tied into personality. It's not tied into, right? It's just tied into the music itself.
The music itself. The Party Next Door is an OVO artist. I'm not a fucking hater.
Right.
Like Drake fans. Not a fucking hater, right?
Yeah.
So Party makes good music. Division makes good music. 40 is an excellent producer and mixing engineer, apparently.
Right.
So when it comes to OVO,
Yeah.
I only dislike Drake.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and I think we're all on board. Right?
I think most everyone is on board with that, except for Drake fans.
Right.
I think casual Drake people are kind of like hopped off the train, and I think,
Yeah.
you know, and I think obviously Kendrick fans aren't fucking with Drake at all. So, so yeah, but Party, that album is on heavy rotation for me. I really like that album. It's one of my favorite projects this year.
Yeah.
R&B, that is. I'll have to rank these.
Yeah.
At some point, but yeah, Party's doing good.
We'll get to that, you know, as we get closer to the end of the year.
Did you check out Chloe?
I didn't check out Chloe.
Ooh, you sleeping, bro?
I'm sleeping on Chloe.
Hit the alarm on that one, bro.
And, you know, and ironically enough, we had discussed kind of both reviewing this album too, or just listening to this album, but listening to the Lotto album.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how'd you like that?
She was snapping on that thing. I'll tell you that much. That was crazy.
Yeah,
I got off rip too. That first song, Georgia Peach, I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Like, she caught me in like right away, hooked me in right away. So I like that album.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back and like you know, we could even next week do a little analysis on it.
I'm in.
Give it some shine, you know, take some time to kind of really take a listen to it and you know, have a conversation about it. But it's worth the listen for sure. You should definitely check it out.
Okay.
Definitely check it out.
So I'm in. I listened to the first few songs, and I was busy, so they were kind of background music. So I haven't given it a true listen.
Okay.
But I hear it was really good. Shout out to Lotto. Hopefully, you know, much more success. Shout out Atlanta. Fuck you, Complex. We'll get into that in a second. So what's the best thing you heard this week?
We're jumping ahead.
Exactly.
Jumping ahead. Best thing I heard this week. All right. In light of one of the conversations we're gonna have this week,
okay,
right, which I won't give away just yet.
All right.
I re-listened to an album actually because there wasn't a whole lot of new music.
Nah, New Music Friday was whack this week.
Industries is fucking.
Industry's asleep.
Industry is looking like that SpongeBob episode where they're in his head and it's all the SpongeBob's running around and it's on fire.
That is funny.
Yeah. That's exactly what the music industry is
going on right now.
That's exactly what's going on. Like,
only Drake is allowed to drop right now.
We need a hit.
Only Drake is allowed to drop right now, guys. All right.
And everything else is just...
Yeah, everything else is on the back burner.
All right, so I went back because I was doing some research on white rappers.
Okay. All right.
I was doing some recon.
Yeah,
okay?
all right.
So I went on a little spec ops mission.
Shout out to the white rappers.
Or not.
Or yeah. Or
so I listened to Czarface meets Metalface, Czarface and MF Doom collab album.
Okay. All right.
All right. And off that album, Bomb Throne.
Okay.
Great song.
All right.
Just that album in general. I love that album. I revisited that album. Everybody knows I'm a big MF Doom fan.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. You know, and I really like this album. I don't know if I'd like all of their albums, but definitely this one I like a lot. You know, really, if you want to nerd out, it's a lot of references to like comic books and wrestling and just like everything you can think about to nerd out on, right?
Okay.
So it's just a fun project. So. But that song specifically, Bomb Throne, I think is incredible. I really like that album. So, shout out to Czarface, and shout out to MF Doom, R.I.P.
Rest in peace to MF Doom. I'll have to go back to that album.
Okay.
I'll have to go back to that album
All
for
right.
sure. Because you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember a lot of tracks on that. But to be fair to them, I've only listened to it like twice. There's a lot of MF Doom music I go back to, and that's not one of the albums that I frequent. So shout out to Doom and
Czarface.
there we go. I smoked too much weed, guys. Okay.
There you go.
All right. You ready for mine?
Yes.
All right. So mine. Let me set the scene.
Okay.
We had some U-Haul action
I heard.
this week. Yeah. So
heard.
you know, got a storage unit.
Yeah.
They was like, we raising the rent $200, and I was like, not on me, nigga. So right. So me and the wife were like, let's get this storage unit cleared out.
Okay.
Okay. We got the Sirius XM going on in the car.
Okay.
It's on 90s music.
Okay.
We're vibing.
Here we go.
We're vibing. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. All right, shit, hell yeah. So we're at 96.
Okay.
Adina Howard, Freak Like Me comes on, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is a fucking bop.
Oh my god.
Best thing I heard this week is Adina Howard, Freak
Wow.
Like Me, bro. Like I was like, yo, this song is hard.
Couldn't have guessed it, honestly.
Oh man, it's so good. Such a good song. It was like it's not vulgar, but it's very sexual.
Yeah.
And you young girls could learn a thing or two from listening to ladies like Adina Howard. Like, you know what I mean? It's a good fun track, good
Okay.
West Coast track.
Yeah.
Off the album, Do You Want to Ride? So I mean, like you
Whoa,
see what I'm
whoa.
saying?
Let's go.
You know, so she, you know, we were just in the car vibing, like fuck
There you
yeah.
go.
And then I gave it the old what happened to music, because that's how I feel.
You just got to. You can't resist.
I can't resist, man. I always think about how trash music is now, and when I listen to stuff that I used to listen to, and all the kids are like, "Oh, you're old," and I'm like, "I know." So that's how I know better than you.
have to remind me.
So you know what I mean? Like, I just check it out, kids. That's all I got to say. It's a good song. It's a good fun song.
You're gonna put somebody onto it.
It's a
somebody's
good
gonna
fun
go.
song. Like, go back and just get into some history of what music was like before you could just push buttons and beats come out. Okay, so like go back and before you like actually had to like go into a studio and you can just sit at home and do this shit.
Right.
And you actually had to like make a song with people who were in the room with you.
Yeah.
Like human contact. Remember those?
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Right.
It's a fun song. It's a really fun song. And if you want to check out the album, do that too.
There you go.
But shout out to Adina Howard. She's got a few albums out. I wasn't aware of that because yeah, that was my best thing. Adina Howard,
Nice.
Freak Like Me.
Wow. Look at that.
I had to go back.
I'm glad you set the scene because out of the blue would have been crazy. Like, huh? How the hell did we get there?
I mean, I was listening to some old music. Like I got the OJs up here, right? Like I was listening to some older music because again, I appreciate music. And I think what's happening for the younger crowd is they think music started like when they discovered it, and they don't realize that niggas have been doing music for a long time. Specifically rap. Shout out Yachty. Like,
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
Like specifically rap. Niggas think they started rapping, and then that's the first time rap happened, right? And that gets on my nerves. So give Adina Howard a run, so you can hear what R&B sounded like in the 90s.
Right.
Does it sound a little dated? Absolutely.
Of course.
But it's a fun track, nice little track. You and your girl in the car vibing. It's a good little track to vibe to,
All right.
Look
at
and then
that.
shout out to the female vocalist
Look at that.
who can't be on that bullshit like male vocalists.
You gave me this take.
I don't think female vocalists get the same leeway that male vocalists get.
Look at that.
I just don't think so.
What's the argument?
Okay.
What are you saying?
So for male vocalists, Future, Don Toliver, insert motherfuckers like that here. Like I'm not gonna give you a list. You can go.
Yeah.
They get to start whining and auto tuning, and then we get into this space like, is it R&B? Is it rap? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like if Meg did that, we'd be like, bitch, keep talking about your pussy. Like we don't want to hear that shit, right?
So she can't go.
Cardi,
Yeah.
let Cardi be go into some fucking R&B fucking bag, we'll be like, are you fucking kidding me, bitch? We
she
haven't even got the.
She can't hit a run.
She can't. No,
She can't.
no, she can't. We will.
She can't catch a melody.
Destroy her. Neither can Future, but we let him try, right? Like,
Right,
and
right.
we talk about R&B Future, and I'm like, there is nothing in his voice that is melodic at all. And I think that I think we let Mel skate. Like, I was listening to that Don Toliver album, You Love.
Fucking hate that album. and then now I look like the biggest Don Toliver hater, which is wild because before that, I would have
you some Don Toliver.
I was like, nah, Don Toliver is fire.
Yeah.
Fucking album comes out, and I'm just like, ah, great.
And I was listening to that, and my favorite track on there is Attitude, and it's just.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we wouldn't let female vocalists get away with this at all. Either you're gonna be a rapper or you're going to be a singer.
Right.
Right. And okay, so I'm gonna set another stage. The way this like thought came into my head is I have a playlist that's newer R&B style music, you know. And so that No Chill track off the P&D album is on there.
Yeah.
And then right after it, it's Rose by Chloe, off of Chloe's album.
Okay.
That track is incredible, by the way, Rose. And right now, women are making masturbation music for themselves. So, you know, that's, hey, do you, boo boo?
Look at that.
And so the vocal difference between Party Next Door and Chloe is like a chasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's going to argue with you there either. I think, you know.
But they could have like the same career.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is insane when Chloe is infinitely more talented vocally than Party Next Door.
Yeah.
We just let niggas get away with dumb shit. But Chloe got to sing her ass off, right? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't. Feminist take for the week, okay? You know what I mean?
I'm an ally, you know.
I want parity. If we gonna shit on women for not sounding good on tracks, we need to be like, look, nigga, okay. Like, all right. All right.
Oh my God. I love it. I love that take.
All right.
I love it.
So, it's fucking bullshit, bro. It's fucking bullshit. I don't even like it. You know what? You know what, women? I'm on your side.
Look at that.
Men get too much leeway around this motherfucker, okay?
They do.
They get too much leeway. Fuck that. Fuck R&B Future. Okay?
However we got there to where we were allowing, you know, men to be able to get their shit off.
Man.
Get their shit off.
Just let these niggas turn on some auto-tune and we're like, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? And shout out to T-Pain and no shout out to T-Pain because T-Pain has an incredible singing voice. Yeah. He turns that auto-tune on and both of them sound great. But now he got these niggas who can't sing a lick, turn on some auto-tune and now they can fucking sing.
Yeah.
Get on my fucking nerves. All right. That's I'm off my tangent. All right, I'm off my tangent. We can get into the pod now. We can get into the pod. Welcome to the pod.
We're gonna get more on your nerves.
We are gonna get on my nerves today. Yeah, we are.
We gotta talk about it.
Okay.
We gotta talk about it. It's the Drizzler segment.
I'm so tired of the Drizzler.
The Drizzler.
I'm so tired of the Drizzler, bro. Like
we're gonna have to make a segment because at this point I feel like it's every pod.
Well,
that we're talking about
because he's doing okay. So Drake drops 3 new tracks. Right?
Can we call him that? Can we call them 3 new tracks?
I mean, based on my theory of what's going on, I'm calling them tracks.
Okay.
Okay. So so what's my theory?
Your theory is?
My theory is UMG is behind all of this leaking. And they're releasing all the Drake styles because Drake has no style. So they're releasing all the Drake styles to see what pops.
Right.
Right. And so last week I looked. This week I haven't looked at where the previous 3 tracks that are on DSPs now. I don't know. Last time I think the 21 Savage joint was like 28 or something like that. I don't think they cracked 25.
So you ran the numbers.
I ran the numbers, but this was last week, so this could be changing. So take it with a grain of salt. These are dated numbers. And then his other track was like in the 60s, and the other track was like in the 80s. So for Drake tracks, this is like crazy. Right. Because he would not chart like this unless he comes off a rap beef where he got his ass whooped, right? Yeah. And my theory was that UMG is trying to figure out how to relaunch Drake. And so he's going off to leak this stuff because they can't afford for them to officially put Drake tracks out that don't hit the top of the charts, because then the narrative becomes Drake ain't hot no more.
Yeah, he's falling off.
He's falling off, and then that becomes really dangerous, because then you have the Drake stans and Glazers looking at you, Mal. So you got the Drake stans and Glazers who will come and just be like, they want to have a numbers conversation until Drake ain't doing numbers.
Yeah.
Then it's bigger than numbers. Then it's not about numbers anymore.
Right.
And I think that this is UMG's way of trying to figure out how to get their cash cow back on top.
For sure.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I think we touched on it last week too, and I think we mentioned a lot of the same things, that this is your way to kind of, again, test the crowd. What is the crowd into right now? What are they going to receive well from Drake right now? And again, like you said, they're going down the list. All right, we gave you this Drake. We gave you some melodies. We gave you house.
Camila Cabello Drake.
Camila Cabello. We gave some pop. Do we need a rock? I don't know. Whatever it's gonna take.
Post Malone. Can we get Drake on the track?
Country Drake. He's on TV in Texas. It'll work. I just imagine an exec at
Country
UMG
Drake.
being like, "Oh my god,
Somebody get Country Drake on the phone."
Yeah.
It is literally like that SpongeBob shit right now.
No, exactly. They're running around, going crazy.
This is all fire. Everything's on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so to the music though.
Okay, so let's dive in, because again, we're a music podcast.
We're a music podcast, so
and we do
Drake dropped music, and I promised, because we're doing a podcast, that I would give everyone a listen.
Right.
I did that to these 3 tracks.
Me too.
And then actually in this case, I give him 2 listens, because I listened to him without you, and then I listened to him with you.
Yeah.
So he's got way more time than I was willing to give him, to be fair, to me.
Because you ran it back.
Because I ran it back.
Yeah, you ran it back.
So he got 2 streams off me, and I don't appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. I don't appreciate that shit.
That's like, that's like supporter behavior.
You
right
know
now.
what I'm saying?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Now my IP is associated. My IP address is associated with 2 streams.
Yep.
All right. So one was the SOD track that had Yachty, didn't have Yachty.
Right.
I wonder if that had something to do with it needing to be clean. But then Drake wasn't clean on the track, which is probably why it's a leak.
I think it's a leak, and all and everything that we heard about that track not being able to be released. I don't see that any version of it would come out regardless.
Right.
I think at a certain point, the guy who originally made that song that sampled in there is just like, I'm not gonna do this, because I don't believe in you, Drake, and I don't believe in what you're doing, Yachty. Like, I don't.
I'm a Christian now.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
We can't have the kids listening to rap.
Yeah. Like,
fuck out of here. Clear that sample, bitch.
Right.
And stop.
Come on. What are we talking about? Come on.
I'm not shooting at Christians. I'm just saying that's a dumb reason to not get some money. That's all I'm saying. So okay, go on.
Hey, everyone has their own morals.
That's
right?
fine. That's fine. I'm okay.
So this isn't a brand new track. We've had at least iterations of it before, right? So, and everything that I heard was more of the same. Again, I don't hate the beat. I guess I don't hate the sample.
I don't hate the
sample.
sample.
I don't hate the sample. I actually think it's a good sample.
Yeah.
And I actually think it fits Drake, but I didn't like what he was doing on that track, right? I didn't like the lyrical content.
Okay.
I don't like the, everybody's against me. Shooters out there, gotta be in the shadows, move in the shadows. It's like, all right, relax.
He's so corny, bro. Go on.
Oh my God, biggest cornball. I swear to God.
Go on.
Oh man, and but we touched on it together. BPM, the fucking rolling
the 808,
808s, right? Everything was just for lack of a better word, like stereotypical to what you hear when he's trying to be in that zone. Right, and it wasn't anything new, anything fresh for me, and it really left a lot to be desired in my take, at least in terms of how I consumed it. So it was like, okay, out of the 3, I thought it was the best one. Right.
Okay.
I thought it was
for
the best
whatever
one.
that's worth.
Whatever's that's worth, because again, they also all sound like unfinished. I also got that feeling from them.
I don't know how unfinished they sound, because even if you finished them, I'd still be like, that sounds like a Drake song. So
yeah.
I don't know what unfinished means in this, but if we stick to just SOD real quick, so if I pull the curtain back to let you guys in on my thinking around music today is, Normally, like, you transform a sample, right? Or
Right.
the sample transforms your beat. Like there's a symbiosis that happens when you sample a track.
Sure.
Like Attitude. I really like what Cash Cobain did with that track, even though it sounds very similar to what Cash Cobain does on tracks. That particular mixture of what he did with the Pharrell vocal
Right.
and what he was doing with his track, that was really, I enjoyed that.
Right.
In this case, I really enjoyed the sample, but all they did was take the sample and then drop their beat
Their
on
template.
the
Their template.
the template beat onto the track, and then
Yeah.
like Drake got in there and did what Drake does. Like, you know, he's rapping, but he's singing, and I don't know how you sing and have beef. Like, the shit just doesn't hit for me. Like, you just out here like, you know, and niggas gonna understand. It's just like, no, we're not. Not when you sing it to me, nigga. I'm not gonna understand it. I don't understand.
I'm
It's
just
not
not. I
fucking
don't know
gonna
what
do
else
it.
to tell you. I'm just not understanding.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not going to. I don't know.
You know, and it's just like, you know, I got the gun cocked. Like, okay. All right, Drake.
Sure.
And these aren't the lyrics on this. Mind you, I don't remember any lyrics from this track because it
didn't
was
do a lyrical breakdown,
Yeah,
but-
because it is extremely forgettable.
Yeah.
But that's what I don't like. Like, it was a really good sample, and I think actually 40 does a really good job, like, with samples. The first track on that Certified Lover Boy album, where he sampled the Masego track, like, that was a well done sample.
Right.
And he didn't drop some old fucking generic ass 808s and
No.
you know,
Yeah.
fast BPMs, and you know, he didn't do that. He actually like sat down and made a track, and it was really good.
Right.
But that's not what this is.
No, not
this
at
is
all.
just a generic ass track with a really good sample
Right.
that Drake is singing, rapping on about his enemies, which I'm like, well, you created them, nigga. Like, this is niggas was getting money with you, and then you fucking everybody's girl and talking a
Yeah.
bunch of shit. It's on you, bro. Like,
Now you mad?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
What do you think was gonna happen?
What you think was
Jesus.
good? Yeah. Fuck Don Wayne's girl. He's in jail. That's conniving.
That's conniving.
You know what I mean? Then got his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. So, you know, these are the things that I'm just kind of like, all right, well, this was just a generic Drake song. And I'll give you my opinion on why. Like, I want Drake to go away, but I don't want him to go away because I think, like, I'm tired of the beef.
Right.
Shit. I mean, I'm doing a podcast. I need more beef, bro. Fucking let's get this Wagyu out here, right? Like, so I need the beef. But yeah, it's like, okay, so nothing's changed. This is Drake
Right.
music, and I think Drake was starting to lose market share because this is the only thing he can do.
Right.
So we go to the second joint, Circadian Rhythms, that I think was the joint that was directed at like your Futures and Metros and Rick Ross and all the people that Drake
Sure.
got money with, did
Right.
tracks with, that are
Right.
now having some beef with him.
Yeah.
So how'd you like that track?
That track, and we touched on this on the next two tracks we're gonna talk about. So for this one specifically, it felt like it would have been more fit for somebody else, and so it sounded like him doing a cover of somebody else, and kind of in the way that I consumed it. Right.
Okay.
It felt like a cover of a Gunna song. Like, Gunna would have been way better on this song than you, in terms of everything that you were attempting to do, both the flow, both the way you were sounding on there, and then even I think the way he flows into his into the hook or whatever. Like, it's just, it all sounded very not him. Again, you're just playing this character. Right, and it just sounded like, it even sounded like, oh, this is this was the track for somebody else, and I am going to take it because I like what this sounds like, and I'm
Okay.
gonna do it. Right, that's what it sounded like to me, and I didn't like it at all.
No.
I didn't like it from him. It was only like a minute and a half long or something like that.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that was too long.
It's 2 minutes too long.
2 minutes too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Drake gets no love on this track. All right.
No love.
Okay. So like I have said,
Yeah.
I don't enjoy Drake music at all anyway.
Right.
So I I thought this song was a Drake song. I'm like, just like, okay, this is a Drake track. You're gonna sense a theme for me. I listen to it and I'm like, okay, it's Drake. I don't consume Drake's music. The last full album I've listened to was Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah.
I haven't consumed any Drake albums. I didn't listen to Scary Hours 3. So I have no like opinion on Drake music other than it's not for me because it is pretty like if Drake's gonna drop an album, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm gonna get.
Right.
And where he sits right now in rap, I'm sure lyrically what he's going to be saying. He's either going to be singing to females who are hopefully of age, and then he's going to be, and then he's going to be talking about his ops, right? Like that's kind of it, and how he's still the king. So there's not going to be any lyrical dexterity. I'm not going to get anything like super interesting as far as an album. Right. I may get a song where I'm like, oh, that beat's hard, and Drake might say an interesting thing or two, or he might have a hot line. But Kendrick will make a hot song. Shout out Jay-Z. So you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I know what I'm getting. These tracks sound like just what Drake does. And so for Drake fans, happy you're getting new music out of him, I guess.
There you go,
you know what I mean? But if you're trying to spin a narrative, if you're academics or Maul and you're trying to spin a narrative that, you know, Drake is back, I'm like, well, if this is the Drake we're gonna get, then he never left. Like this is the same shit we've been getting out of him. And Drake feeds the streets with this, and you niggas gobble it. Yeah, like okay, like you niggas gobble it up. But like, to be clear, Drake has not stopped putting out music.
Yeah.
Since he tucked his tail in on the Heart Part 6 and walked away from the beef.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. He's been shortly after that the Camila Cabello stuff dropped. The Hey Juan Delilah's dropped like right after that. And like that's what like, and then he's just been leaking shit or dropping shit, Sexy Red and like all the stuff. The Benny the Butcher stuff's supposed to come out. Like it's just been, you still here, nigga.
It, you know, funny enough for the theory that, you know, that UMG could be behind what's going on with these leaks and these drops to kind of get him back in the good graces of, I guess, the public in general, right? In terms of how we're going to drop this music for it to be successful again. It's just, it feels disorganized, right? Because it feels messy. It feels like, I don't know, like leaks and things that feel unfinished, and it's just not polished to, it doesn't feel like a concerted effort. It feels like scrambling on both sides, really. Like, again, that SpongeBob scene is happening both at UMG and at OVO. And no one is like, there's just no like.
Well, I mean, you leave it to No Face, which is the third track on there, and it sounds like Drake has a plan, or at least the troops are loading up, right? Like is what it sounds like he's trying to say.
Sure.
And KD says, "When are we?" KD, come on, Drake. What are we talking about? So, good for you. You got friends. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're trying to load up, and I guess like
load up what?
I guess like, are you loading it back up because you're calling Kendrick back out? Right? Is that what we're loading up for? Like you got some shit and you're like, nah, I'm ready for Kendrick to come back outside.
Like is that what that
is that what this is? And for the UMG thing, like again, they're all scrambling and it feels disorganized because Kendrick did something during that beef that was unexpected. He said, I don't give a fuck about the music industry.
Right.
So I don't give a fuck if I call your golden boy a PDF.
Yep.
Because I don't give a fuck if this house crumbles.
Right.
I'm gonna go be a dad. I'm rich.
Yep.
Right? I'm good. I don't need this music shit no more.
Right.
So I don't care. And now the golden goose got cooked. And so now they're trying to figure out, well, shit, how do we polish this turd and make it gold again, right? And so, you know, that's where I feel like we're at. And listening to the No Face track.
No Face
was that your favorite one out of the three?
That was my favorite one to listen to and be like, man, this is terrible. Like my favorite hate listen of the three. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, yo, Is he really doing the you're dead,
No
you're
face.
dead again, right?
No face.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what he's doing.
He's doing again,
That's
right?
what he's doing.
It's just, Drake, you're not learning. And if you're not learning,
You're not growing.
you're not growing. And if you're not growing,
You're falling behind.
you're
I would
behind.
so.
And guess what? He's gonna be the last to know.
He, apparently, everybody at OVO is going to be last to know. So, yeah, that's the track that I've heard people
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, that track is super hard out of the three." Again, nothing lyrically there that I'm just like, "Oh man, Drake is coming back."
Yeah.
I don't want Drake to go away again because I think he's. I mean, I want him to go away, but I don't. From a music perspective, I respect that he's too big a star. He, for better or for worse, for me, he means something to hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can discuss what it is, but he means something to hip hop, and so because of that,
Yeah.
he's going to come back.
Yeah.
But the point of saying "go away," Drake, was, hey, go away and try to think about what happened. Think about how you're going to grow. You got Conductor coming out.
Right.
You know, Griselda, it sounds like, is basically like on your side. I don't want to say on your side like they chose him, but they're definitely trying to make sure you start releasing some music that got they style, they stamp on it. Because he had the Benny the Butcher drop the shit,
Right.
and then it went away real quick, like, so you can't even hear that no more. He said he had the Conductor joint he's working on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like he's got some stuff coming out that would be interesting to hear how it came out, or how it is when it comes out.
Right.
But I'm like, but if you don't go away for a while and then polish all of that up and let us, like, not me, but let the world miss you,
Right.
then when you drop, it's still in the midst of a string of drops that we're just kind of like,
There's no separation. There's no way of delineating like, oh, this is a new chapter. It doesn't feel like that because you haven't gone away. Right? So people haven't been able to turn the page. Like, even myself, I haven't been able to turn the page on you. I would probably still feel the same on the next page. It's not going to change my opinion. But you're not allowing anyone to do that. Right? And when you're doing that, it's really just a disservice to yourself, right? Because again, all this, even when they feel like they find that thing that's going to be the successful drop, it's still, you're stepping on it yourself because, again, you haven't created any separation, right? It doesn't have to mean that you think you lost, even though you did lose. I don't know who thinks you still won at this point, besides the biggest of Glazers.
It doesn't
We're
matter.
past that point.
We're past it.
We're past.
And if you want to start round two, like if you're like, no, that was just round one, I took a time out and I'm going
Right.
to start round two.
Sure.
Like if you want to start round two, again, Kendrick said he had 10 more songs for you. So like,
Okay.
you know,
Let's go.
so, and I got fucking 4 Kendrick songs out of this beef that I still spin back today.
Yeah.
That are fire to me,
Yeah.
right? And I know for Drake fans, they're probably boring because you need a brain and you have to like listen to lyrics and stuff like that. So I get it. They're boring for you, but yeah, I'm like, it's fine with me. Call Kendrick back outside. Shit, we got video of the year. Fucking, Not Like Us is still 3. Drake is dropping new music that doesn't even get there. Not Like Us came out like a few months ago. And so
Right.
to think about a song in this day and time that is lasting that long on the charts,
Yeah.
right? And whatever metric, however you metric it, right, is crazy.
Right.
So if that's what you want to come back outside, then I just don't think it's a good move. I just think go away for a little while, let all the people that you have beef with, let Rick Ross drop an album and see where it goes. Let whoever drop albums and see where it goes, and then you come out, drop your shit, talk your shit, and you go from there. Like,
Right.
and then let it be what it is. But if you keep dropping these little 3-packs, and everybody's just like, and even Drake fans are like, man, he's dropping music and it's good, but you know, we waiting on the next thing. Let me ask you a question: is Drake really good if his fans are always waiting on the next thing?
It's like, what are you waiting for?
Gotta feed the
Right.
streets. Feed the streets what, nigga? I just gave y'all 47 songs this past year.
Well, that's how he's conditioned his fans. And the
Right?
industry is
Like,
that
goddamn.
I had to. He's just fucking running on the treadmill. The treadmill fucking never stops. It's like a bad dream. Just a reoccurring bad dream where you just like, I'm running, but the monster's coming. I can't.
Can't stop.
It can't stop, won't stop, right? That kind of thing. In
Ooh.
the worst possible
No
way.
Diddy.
Hey. Whoa.
So that's my thing for all the Drake fans. Feel free to comment. Is the music good if you always keep waiting for the next thing and you don't keep the same thing? That Party album came out 4 months ago, and I just got to it last month, but I've been listening to it for a fucking month, bro.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it's good to me. But Drake the shit dropped, and then like some people will put it in their rotation. And then they like, the next thing comes, and it's like, well, what about? So is the 21 Savage track now? Is that? I don't even remember what that shit. It's Up. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I want to say so.
Okay.
Sure. Sounds like a Drake song.
Sounds like.
It's Up.
Yeah. So
you hear all these, titles. It's just so silly.
Circadian rhythm.
You got knocked out in front of the whole world. The whole world saw you get knocked out, and you're like, it's up. It's up. Bro, you just got up. Like, what are we talking about?
No face.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
All right. Yeah, it's just not good. It's not good.
It's just truthfully and honestly not good. Okay? We gave it a chance.
I listened to it twice, man, like all the way through, and I was just like,
I honestly thought, like, when you put them on for me to listen to, that I was gonna have more to say. Where I was like, okay, I could play the middle. There wasn't anything for me to play the middle on. It was just bad. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater, but what else do I say? I gotta be honest.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't like Drake or his music. Like, I don't like his Get Down. I don't like that. I don't know Drake personally, so I'm not going to say he's a terrible human being.
Right.
The circumstantial evidence would suggest that, but I don't know I don't know. I don't know Drake. So he could be a fine dad for all I know.
Yeah.
To however many kids he actually has. Okay. But what I will say is, if Drake wants to convert me musically, like, I'm not saying there's not a pathway for me to like Drake. I enjoyed So Far Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Take Care was a good album. Like, Nothing Was the Same was a good album. What's his If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Like, so I can rock with that era of Drake back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Kanye-esque, and he got to a point where I was just like, I don't want to listen to this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying there's not a pathway back to listening to Drake music for me, because I do have a Drake playlist that I do not play right now. But I do have a playlist of songs that I do like from him.
Right. There is, yeah.
So, there is, like, he's got stuff that I will listen to.
Yeah.
At some point in my life again. So,
Way later.
Yeah, just way later when this all blows over.
Remember Drake?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I did like that song. And I say all that to say, like, what he's doing right now is not getting me to the point where, he's just continuing to put out music that I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll just stay with the old Drake that, baby, you my everything. You all I ever. I'll stay with that Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you took it way back.
Well, shit. I mean, that's when I liked Drake.
All right, well, there you go.
You know what I mean? So, thanks, Drake. That concludes the Drake segment of this podcast. We're going to go to another motherfucker who be talking shit up next. So, Tank.
Oh, my God. Talk about saying something just to say it, right? Just to get the pot, just to stir the pot, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't know, Tank said that Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson.
Like, across the board.
Across the board, a better everything than Michael Jackson.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
I don't like when people give unserious takes just to get people talking about R&B.
Yeah.
I hate having to talk about this because it makes you shit on Chris Brown.
I see.
Like, in order to talk about this, you go, Chris Brown isn't better than Mike at, and then you start to demerit Chris Brown on things.
Right.
And he's the hottest R&B act out right now. He's got great vocals. He can dance, so on and so forth. Michael Jackson was the king of pop, and he stayed pop.
Right.
Chris Brown does a little bit too much weaving for me between rap and pop and R&B and stuff like that for me to feel like he's the king at anything.
Right.
But Chris Brown is an excellent vocalist. He's not better than Michael Jackson. Like, this is a dumb thing for Tank to say. Let me caveat that by saying I have no Tank music in my catalog at all.
At all?
At all.
None in your Serato, as the New Yorkers
There is
say?
nothing in my Rolodex. I don't have Tank anywhere in anything I listen to. I come from the Tank era of R&B. I thought he was okay.
Wow.
I thought he was okay. People love Tank. I don't think people shouldn't love Tank. I'm not here to say Tank isn't good. I'm saying I didn't consume much of his music. I like the track he did with Aaliyah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He did a track with Chris Brown that I listened to. I like Chris Brown better on the track, to his point. So to his point,
Okay.
I don't consume Tank music. That is not to say he is not an arbiter of talent.
Right.
I'm just saying that I was not looking for Tank to say anything at all about R&B at all.
Okay. I mean, let me tell you this,
Okay.
right? To the point that you were making, you give a take, put in so much absurdity that when people start to rationalize and actually bring it back down to reality, now they're hating. Right, but I didn't do this. You did this. You brought this up and you created this, right? And in order for rational people to bring it back down, we have to look like we're hating on something.
Gotta look like we're hating.
And that's what I don't appreciate as well, right? So I definitely agree with you on that. And I mean, it begged the question, like, what's going on? Are we rolling something out? Are we trying to get something off? Like, is there a podcast going on you're trying to do? Or
does Tank have an album he's releasing?
Yeah,
and we need to be talking about him for some reason.
Yeah. Like, is he back in the space? Right. That was very much the the conversation we had, right?
Yeah.
And I was letting you know that this isn't Tank's first time kind of giving these kind of takes. He's been given these kind of takes often, and it seems like it always conveniently is around. I think he just likes to keep himself or what he's saying kind of in the atmosphere,
in the space,
right? He wants to stay in the ether.
Okay.
And that's his way of doing it. And even any opinions he gave after just seemed like, okay, like, what are we doing here, Tank? Like, you're going to keep standing on that ledge? Like, just call it out.
He's just jumping off the ledge, though, right? It's one thing,
Right.
It's one thing to set off a grenade and just be like, all right, I'm going to walk out. Chris Brown is better than Marvin Gaye,
Yeah.
right? Like, we could be like, we'll still be like, Tank, what the fuck are you talking
Like,
about?
what does that even...
But
yeah.
that doesn't, like, that's not going to make me, like,
Right.
that's not going to make me go off the deep end. Like,
Right.
across the board, Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson. That take says we should not listen to you about any R&B.
Well, and then also because the take is rooted enough in conversations that have happened in the past to where then people are like, it renews that conversation. And then because it's coming from you, he understands his own kind of like how I can push this forward. And then the ether's going to take it and run with it.
It's a very Emmanuel
Right.
Acho take.
That's a great reference.
Very Emmanuel Acho take, where it's just like, nigga, shut up. Like, I'm not indulging this shit. So it's a very Emmanuel Acho take. I'll say this. Michael Jackson is one of one. Michael Jackson is the prototype. There's no Chris Brown. There's no Usher. There's no dancing ass nigga on the stage. Insert that person here right now. That wasn't inspired by or can't exist without Michael Moon walking across the stage.
Right.
The various eras of Michael that exist.
Yeah.
Whether it's young Michael, very young Michael, right? Whether it's Jackson 5 Michael, whether it's, teenage Michael or adult Michael. We had different phases. He was the king at all of them.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Chris Brown is the best R&B singer, male. Shout out to my females.
Reference that first take.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. So he's the best male R&B singer out right now.
Okay.
I would go to a Chris Brown show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably be highly entertained.
And be highly entertained and be singing along and all the things. But he's not better than Michael Jackson.
Well, wouldn't you also say that like a Chris Brown is more directly influenced from an Usher, and then an Usher is more influenced from a Michael Jackson?
That's actually my point.
More of the
that's
the
actually my
connection?
point. He's the prototype. So again, so Chris Brown, whoever was his inspiration to do his style,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So you can't be better than that, because he was your whole, you can be, right? Like you could take a piece of that and max out. Maybe Michael didn't do this as good and you're maxing that out.
Right.
But to say Chris Brown is a better dancer, like dancers were making their careers off of fucking Michael Jackson videos.
Right.
Name me one fucking dancer Chris Brown got popping off. Like, doesn't happen. Right? I mean, I appreciate him in Stomp the Yard. Like, he was fucking fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's a great dancer. This is why I don't like this conversation. It's not got to sit up here and look like a fucking Chris Brown hater.
Right.
And I don't hate Chris Brown. I hate Tank for making us have to hate on Chris Brown, or, depending on which side of the fence you're on, hate on Michael Jackson.
Right.
Right? Like,
Right.
so you got to shit on Michael Jackson. So if you're like a Yachty fan, you're going to shit on Michael Jackson and vibe with that Chris Brown take. Like, if you like, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's just like, it didn't need to happen.
Right.
It didn't need to happen to say that there are great R&B artists out there.
Yeah.
Because Chris Brown is popping. He don't need the fucking pub.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he don't need the pub. But feels like Tank, because again, I consumed no Tank media before this, and I was just like, and maybe it might be I'm more connected because I do this now.
Yeah.
But the fuck are we talking about?
I will tell you that I've heard more Tank takes than I have Tank music.
Okay. I rest my case. I rest my case.
There you go.
So
We'll just close that door. We'll close that door. There you go.
We're gonna close that door.
Tank,
I'm just
knock that shit off. Come
you know,
on.
knock it off. So the music industry is just super messy right now, right?
Yeah,
Like it's super messy, and Tank is getting messy. Drake is fucking messy, right? Like we have to have a Drake take every week because God forbid Drake take a fucking week off.
He's
right?
not going to.
Tank comes up with this bullshit. Now we got to go fucking dissect Chris Brown and Michael Jackson for fucking hours to have this fucking conversation with him.
There you go.
And I mean, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like Drake's making it messy enough. We don't need your help, Tank.
I know exactly. Like
So, you know, thanks Drake for the mess. Speaking of white rappers, so what? He's not white.
Oh, he's half white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of white rappers, you know, we had the Michael Rubin conversation last week, and it got me thinking about culture vultures.
Oh,
It got me
culture
thinking.
vulture segment.
It got me thinking about culture vultures. It got me thinking about this Ian kid. Who Tyler had his point about, right?
Yes,
so shout out to Tyler.
Right.
Tyler, welcome. We got jackets, my nig. I agree. These motherfuckers do not care about music no more, and it's all trash. Welcome, my nigga.
Oh my god.
So
Tyler put on, you know, I guess quote unquote old head cap. He put it on.
okay.
Or the cape, I guess you would want to say, right?
I prefer cap. We don't put on capes because we OGs over here. But go on.
Y'all wear robes,
Yeah,
like little,
exactly.
like,
Fucking,
cloaks.
yeah. Fucking like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Oh, right. And I don't even remember. He was sitting down with the guy from the shop.
Maverick Carter.
Maverick Carter. There you go. Sorry. Look at me. The guy from the shop. That sounds crazy,
Get
right?
it together.
Maverick Carter. There you go. So they were doing a interview / pod, his pod, right? And Tyler was giving the take of, you know, not only does style, the way you talk, the way you sound, the way you create music, the way that music sounds, all seem to be homogenized in this current state of hip hop and rap. But we also start to see these characters, is what I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
Like I don't think he mentioned Ian specifically.
No,
But he mentioned, I heard this kid, this white kid from the suburbs,
Okay.
who sounds like Future or sounds like such
Gucci
and such,
Mane,
right?
yeah,
Gucci
yeah.
Mane, right? Sounds like like he's making trap, and he's very clearly not
not from that.
from
Yeah.
any of that in any way.
Yeah.
Right. So very much just serving as like a caricature of this specific music. This comes from this specific region, and is made by, people who come from that.
Yeah.
Right. And then again, it's a reflection of the things that they're going through, or that they experience, or that they see.
Okay.
Right. So it brought up that conversation. Right. And very much, it was a surprising, I think it was a little bit surprising to hear it from Tyler, the Creator, who I think has been a champion for, I think, a more, I guess, I don't know what younger generation's take of
I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make whatever fucking music I feel like making.
There you go.
So it felt like, okay, Tyler.
It's like, whoa, wait,
like,
you are the one over here
yeah,
talking
ain't
about
you
this?
kicking in the door, waving the 4-4? You know what I'm saying? So it was a little weird, but I appreciate that he's finally on board with
Right.
his take.
Right. So then, how did you feel about that? Right? Because I shared that with you. I implored you to go take a look at that clip. and what
Yeah,
you think about it.
So about Tyler,
Right.
because I know a lot of people were like, Tyler, what the fuck are you talking about? Or like it was a wrong messenger kind of situation.
Right. It was very much like
and
like we're getting this from Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that Tyler didn't never care about music. We're
Yeah.
not saying that, right? It was just his brand was very brash and brazen,
Yeah, no.
right?
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And it was a very like fuck you to try and put me in a box kind of style.
Sure. Yeah.
Of
it's very anti everything. very
Anti-establishment.
Push against the.
It's a very anti-establishment kind of.
Anti the norms
Yeah.
of that version of hip hop and rap at that time.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, I'm just pushing up against everything, pushing all the doors
And
down.
he inspired a lot of people, black, white, blue, green, to do the same things.
Right.
And I think that's where it was,
Right.
where everybody was kind of like, Tyler, what the fuck?
Kind of like a little conflicted. I could understand how people would feel that way too, right? Because
Yeah.
even for myself, right, looking at Tyler, like definitely appreciate the music that he makes, right? And I was around for when he was coming out,
Yep.
in terms of fully consuming and seeing just that full transformation from where he was to where he is now,
Yeah.
right? And so it was still a little caught off guard to then hear him have this take in this way, where he was very much calling to action, kind of really like, okay, we really need to look at who are these people that are trying, like pretty much making a mockery of these type of rap or hip hop, that are being made, right? It's just like they're just caricatures. Like he was kind of calling out and saying in so many words that it's not okay to do that.
Which I agree with the message.
Right.
But it's the analogy I would use is like if you used to steal from a liquor store, even if you were just stealing like Starburst and bags of chips,
Right.
And then you grow up and you get older and you're just and people are like robbing it like fucking gunpoint, empty the fucking register, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't then be the one to be like, I can't believe people steal from that store. Nigga, what? Like, are the two crimes equal? Not necessarily, but you did used to, but Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community. Like that's how that feels, right? It's just like
That's such a good reference.
you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, so I don't want to hear, it's not that I don't want to hear it from you. It's just kind of like acknowledge like, hey, look, I did this shit too, but
Right.
I've grown now and I don't think this is okay. And there's a white kid out there who, again, spot on.
Yeah.
This motherfucker doesn't need to be making this type of music.
Yeah.
But y'all know me. I've been saying this shit for 10 episodes.
Right.
It's time to get that segregation back. And we need to fucking put these gates up. Right?
Well, and it begged the question for us to then, okay, are we going to go listen to this? Because you and I both weren't aware, I think, fully of what was going on, specifically with this Ian kid being the example.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went to go do some research, some field research.
We did the knowledge.
Do the knowledge. All right. Get all cerebral.
All right.
So this is what we did.
So I'm not going to call it research because
research requires.
Yeah, it requires a level of discipline that I did not give to this. But I will say that I did go listen to some Ian.
Right.
But before we go into the sound of Ian, which I did a cursory listen to, so I got very annoyed quickly and I ended this fucking.
I think it gave you everything that you needed, though.
Yeah, I was to say like, yeah, this nigga needs to stop making this fucking music. So I expect white rappers to do what Ian, Post Malone, Black Bear. Like, you know what I mean? Like I expect them to sound like black with a black scent and everything. Shout out Olivia Rodrigo. I expect
them to.
I expect them to do this dumb shit. I'm not necessarily mad that white people do white shit. I expect them to do that. I'm mad at the niggas that let them get away with doing the white shit.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So if Eminem was around a group of niggas who let him say nigga, I'm not mad at Eminem got away with saying nigga. I'm mad at the group of niggas he was running with letting him get away with that shit.
Man, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is hilarious.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening
But
here.
I get what you're saying.
So Ian is dealing with a group of black people who are cool, or at least, I don't know, I can't say that because I don't know this motherfucker from a hole in his ass, right? So I will say that he may have some black people in his life that have allowed him to skate through this and not say, nah, my guy, that's not it.
Yeah.
After listening to his music, this is a clear example of what white industry executives have been trying to do to rap and hip hop for years. And again, now it's just getting brazen and blatant. Before, you know what I mean, they would just get a nigga on the payroll and then they would call him Drake. And then that's who would do the shit for them, right?
Right.
Now they're like, Ian, you can do it too. And these dumbass niggas are going to listen to it anyway because this is the kind of music they listen to.
Right, right.
And so now Tyler is mad because we did not lower the gates before this motherfucker got his shit off.
Yeah.
So after listening to it, how did you feel?
I had the, displeasure of listening to half of it.
Okay.
To the valedictorian mixtape or whatever the fuck. And I went to college.
Congratulations.
And all of this cornball shit with this Ian kid is shit that you would constantly see in every college in the United States of America. So it's not new to me.
Okay.
It's not surprising, like you were saying. It's
No.
never surprising. I'm never surprised when a white person, does some white shit, right? Because again, it's just I think you get conditioned to a certain point. Be like, I'm not gonna be surprised because,
It's white people. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
I'm good. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Relax. Okay. Yeah.
I rock with a lot of white people in my life, by the way. So if the shoe fits, wear it.
It's
if the truth hurts,
a shoe
bear it.
Conversation.
Yeah,
okay?
that's all I'm saying.
They know who they are.
Yeah.
They know that they aren't those.
Yeah.
They get it. So yeah, and that's what this reminded me of, right? In terms of the lack of understanding of what kind of disrespect you're doing to a culture, right? There's just a blatant disrespect and disregard for how to respect a culture in terms of how you approach contributing to that art form or to that culture in general, right? And so that's what I got off the first song, off the first intro into the first song, right? And it reminded me of that, and it really sparked up this feeling that I hadn't had in a while
Mm-hmm.
of just being angry about it because you see that shit all the time, you know, in those spaces and they think it's okay, right? Because maybe someone around them told them okay, or no one's willing to tell them that it's not okay.
Nobody's willing to tell him.
No one willing to check him on that shit.
No, he should have been checked
Right.
a long time ago.
It should have been checked a long time ago. The shit shouldn't even come out.
Motherfucker got singles and EPs before this, by the way.
Yeah. Right. And everyone's under the guise of like, oh, but it's cool. Like, it's cool, but it's like not looking at it a little bit deeper. Right.
Right.
And I get like people will get turned off to this kind of opinion from a you or myself because they'll say, well, you're just being a Debbie Downer. Right. But the reason why is because when you disregard, I think when you disregard kind of holding someone's feet to the fire to then hold some respect for something, right? You allow it to go way too far. And when it goes way too far, then you're like, oh, we could have done something. Well, we should have done something when we recognize that this was some bullshit.
Right.
So, a little worked up about it, as you can see.
I can see you kind of charged up about this.
A little charged up about it.
All
But
right.
only because I wanted to call out that bullshit. And it's going to feed into the next part of this topic. But I'll let you kind of add on to anything that I just said.
I gave a cursory listen to this music. I was like, this sounds like a white boy trying to be cool. There's no reason to continue listening to this music. I promptly turned it off and got on with my fucking life.
And then even I've heard people say that they couldn't tell that he was white. And I don't understand how you couldn't tell he was white. I could still hear it. It was still very much, I am hearing someone in a Weird Al Yankovic kind of way of doing a fucking trap song. Of course it was never gonna even be able to trick me on sounding like, oh, this sounds like it could have been a black person. That's not what I got from that at all.
So I want to get your top 5 white rappers. Okay, I'm gonna give you my top 3 white rappers. There's no white person outside of Amy Winehouse, Bobby Caldwell. Right.
Yeah.
Like there's specific people that I was like, oh shit, like they're white, like that.
Right.
He was not one of them.
Yeah.
Right. Like it gave a very raisins in the potato salad kind of feel as I listened to it. But again, because music has become so generic, it's easy, especially with AI now, and auto tuning and all the things we can do to a voice. It's very easy to sound black, air quotes, sound black, right? So, Ian is not the white rapper that anyone needs to put a cape on for white rappers.
No.
Because we're going to give you a list of white rappers that are acceptable. And then we might coincide in doing the knowledge. We went to go listen to white people rap.
Right.
All right. Who's your number 5?
Number 5?
Yeah.
Do I have 5? That's the first
okay,
question.
that's fair.
That's the first question.
I only got 3, so if you don't got 5, I'm with it.
All right, number 1.
All right,
number
go.
1 right rapper.
Go.
All right?
Go.
We're going to share this one right here. Actually, no, we're not going to share it because I think I know what your first one is.
All right, go.
Logic, baby. Let's go, Logic. Let's go, Logic. Oh, I'm going to get all the rap pack hate again.
Man.
Don't think I didn't see that hate, guys. Oh, I'm only doing this because you guys did that.
Best white rapper alive, Logic.
For
Logic.
sure.
Logic, you're black, okay? We get it. All right. So Logic, you're going Logic.
Hey, I'm only going Logic because when we looked up the best white rappers,
Logic was on there.
Logic
was on that list, and it was that was befuddling to me because Drake wasn't on there. And I
did
was
not
like,
have him
okay,
on that list. I did not have him on that list.
yeah. So I was
Okay.
like, well, if you're gonna put Logic and not put Drake, then I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck.
like if Drake was on there, I would have put him on this list too. If J. Cole was on there, I would have put him on this list too. But they weren't on.
They weren't on
So,
here,
okay.
but Logic was. That's crazy. Okay, go on. That's crazy. That's nuts, by the way.
That's wild.
That's
That's crazy.
that was fucking nuts.
You weren't ready for that one, huh?
I was not. Go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2, baby. All right, R.I.P. For real. I'm gonna be real.
All right.
Mac Miller. I'm putting there.
All right. Yeah.
All right,
I think we're gonna share that one.
We're
Yeah.
gonna
Rest in
share
peace
that
to
one.
Mac. He found his stride too.
Found his stride, and I think he was also kind of transitioning into even
Yeah.
Getting out of rap, it wasn't really so much rap.
Again, he was doing the sing-songy rap that we let males get away with, that we
Right.
don't let females get away with.
Right.
But so shout out to Mac Miller.
There you go. R.I.P. to Mac Miller.
Yeah, really great. That's a good one.
All right, number 3,
Go.
Action Bronson. I'll give it to him.
It's good.
To your point about
very Ghostface.
Yeah, Ghostface.
But but I don't know if that's just where people from that area. I don't know if that's how they rap.
Right.
So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
But
right?
when I heard it,
I'm not gonna say that it was some some vulture.
It's not some Ian shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that to Action Bronson.
Right.
But I will say, when I first heard him, the song was just on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Ghostface got new music out?
Ghostface out here killing it.
I was like, oh, dang, Ghostface got new music out. That's pretty hot. And then they was like, oh, no, that's Action Bronson. I was like, who the fuck is Action Bronson?
And then you go look at some redhead white guy.
And then I was immediately mad.
White guy.
And I was just like, all right. So Action Bronson, I'll take it.
Action Bronson.
All
Okay. I've consumed a lot of Action Bronson music, and I'll give it up to Action Bronson.
He's
okay?
good. He's good. He's also good.
All right. I got like 3 more.
Shit, that's more than me.
I didn't
only
count
got 3.
my list.
All right, go. All right, let's go.
All right.
3 more.
All right, so I'm gonna count Aesop Rock on this list.
Okay, I
right.
haven't consumed a lot of that music, but go
A
on.
lot of underground take. The next 2 guys are really underground.
Okay,
so
let's go.
That's what this goes.
ASAP Rock, shout out to ASAP Rock.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for respecting the culture.
There you go. LP,
Okay.
one half of Run the Jewels, I believe.
I accept.
You accept?
I accept. Run the
yeah.
Jewels is very fresh,
Run
and
the
he's a
Jewels
good
is-
MC.
Yeah.
He's a
I will
really
give
good
it up to
MC.
him. Again,
He probably should be at the top of the list, but okay.
Okay, fair. Right. And then I will combine these last 2, and it was, from my best thing I heard this week. 7L and Esoteric.
Okay.
They make Czarface.
Okay.
So they're a duo. Esoteric's more of a DJ. Sometimes he raps. 7L is more of an MC. But
Okay.
I'll give it up to. I would count them as one.
All right.
Czarface.
So
They-
Czarface.
Czarface,
Czarface.
That's my.
Okay, I didn't get that deep.
All right.
All right. It's gonna be a fairly old head. And I'm only gonna give you 3 because I didn't want to start like we have kind of the similar list because there's
Right.
so few white rappers I respect.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go top up Eminem
Okay.
and old Eminem. I'm talking about cancelable Eminem.
Okay.
Okay, because
With the earrings.
I'm talking Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers.
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm not talking Marshall Mathers. I'm talking Slim Shady, Eminem.
Blonde.
J and Co jeans.
Yep.
White tee. All right. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that Eminem is an incredible lyricist. And he did grow. Like I don't like people are like, oh, he grew up, and that's what made his music kind of sus to me. Not sus like it was like sus, but just like, I'm not listening to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Eminem is number 3 for me.
Okay.
Okay, Mac Miller was number 2 for me.
Right.
But I'm gonna move this down because I think LP should be 1. Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys. The reason I like Beastie Boys was because they were rapping, but they were white boys rapping. Like they were the corniest white boys rapping, and they made it their own thing.
Yeah.
And Intergalactic was a fucking track,
There
and we
you go.
listened to it. You know what I mean? Like, so
Beastie Boys.
I think the Beastie Boys they came in saying we want to be white rappers, and they stayed white rappers, right? And it was like a very interesting style they came with, and they didn't do what Ian is doing, which was trying to insert the rapper of their time. Like they said, we're white rappers. This is what white rap sounds like.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, cool, respect. So yeah, I'm gonna go LP, Beastie Boys, Mac Miller, Eminem. And I'm sure if you got some white rappers you think you want me to check out,
please comment.
Send the comments. Yeah, I'm happy to.
That we're missing out.
Happy to listen. I'll shout them out next week if you give them to me.
All right.
And they're any good. So if I don't shout them out, then that means I don't.
They
that
gotta
means
be
I did
good.
not enjoy that experience.
Right.
And yeah, that's that. Those are my whites.
I think we made a good top 10.
I think we did, or at least top 7.
Thank God Eminem was in your list. 'Cause if he wasn't, then it would have just been all this How can you not have Eminem on this list?
Eminem's an incredible lyricist. Like quite honestly, his music was very crazy. And if he started dropping like 2018, 2019, he wouldn't have made it as a rapper. He had to come out in 1999, right?
Yeah,
in 2000. But when I go back and listen to Slim Shady LP, that album is fire. So say what you want about the lyrics and the homophobia and the domestic violence and all the shit that was going on in there.
Yeah.
The album was fire. Fucking flames. All so right. If we can listen to Chris Brown, we can listen to Eminem. Okay, I said it. So I said it.
I said it.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right. I do like you, Chris Brown. Okay. Okay. I have a question for. Shout out to all the white rappers out there respecting the culture.
Look, all right. I think when we started out even discussing if we were gonna do this, I was telling you, I was like, I don't know if I have like 5 best white rappers.
I can tell you, I can probably make a list of them I don't like.
Please.
But we be here all day. We appreciate the white rappers out there who are respecting the culture. Appreciate you. I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
All right, this is coming off the Yachty drama. The Yachty podcast drama. Okay. So as I saw those clips, because I don't consume that podcast.
With my guy Mitch.
Mitch. And whatever their podcast is called, I'm not going to shout it out here. But you know Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Lil Yachty's taking some L's. He had
my guy's taking some L's. I can't even call him my guy right now.
I mean, had he stayed in his, that album I like. So had he stayed in that bag, I think he'd be okay.
Yachty.
But he didn't. So he went back to getting this PR. So first he said, Atlanta swag is better than New York swag, and that got the New Yorkers super hot, right? Then he goes, he said a lot of shit, so I'm not going to remember all of it. Then he says he can wash Joe Budden on a fucking Alchemist beat, which I'm like, okay, this is unserious.
Like,
these are unserious takes here, right? These are unserious takes here.
Here we go.
Then he gets taken off the Drake track, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
To me, and then he unfollows Drake because that's how you kids let everybody know you ain't rocking with someone. You unfollow them.
Look at that. He was rocking with Drake the whole time during the beef.
Fucking put the cape on, like, man, I think they're both kind of good. Nobody wins. And then Drake was like, it's my track, bitch.
Yeah.
He did Big Worm fucking at the ice cream truck. My money. Just do that shit to my mama. That's what Lil Yachty's doing right now.
Exactly.
And then he goes at his podcast co-host.
Man, what's going on?
All right.
Yachty, are you okay?
Do you feel like, because there's some speculation on if Yachty was wrong for what he said.
Okay.
How do you feel about what he said?
Look, man, here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, look, we can't all handle the truth, okay?
Okay.
And do I think that you should have done it on your podcast with a guest?
Got the guest awkwardly sitting there while y'all hash out some beef. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Oh, there's some growing pains, and then we're going to have it in front of our guest. So, look, Yachty, bro, because we're the same age, all right? You could have handled that with some more couth, as they say. You could have, taken Mitch to the side and been like, hey, man, we need to chop it up on this. Why don't we go get dinner and have a conversation, right? Deal with it like a man.
Yeah.
But what you did was
he was like, I'm shitting on him.
Call him a bum to his face in front of a guest and say, hey man, you would have been a bum still if I didn't decide to put $400,000 in your pocket. I was like, God damn. I was surprised we didn't start swinging. Like,
yeah, Mitch just took that shit too.
And Mitch was just like, I mean, you're right, but you don't.
But I mean, you can't say that in front of everybody. Mitch just took that shit.
Yeah.
All right.
That's tough, man. I don't agree with that, right?
I think Yachty is foul for that shit.
It's bad.
I think he's foul. He might not necessarily be wrong for what he was saying.
No, I don't necessarily think he wasn't coming from a position of being wrong for what he was saying, but there's so many different ways for you to have said that.
I think he was so foul, bro. I think that shit was just like, oh well, I mean, I could have told you to get a job, but you wouldn't have got one, you bum bitch. Like, god damn, you wasn't doing shit with your life until I made you, you little bitch. This? Like, that's how that was coming off.
Yeah.
And Mitch just being like, my guy, I'm saying that I was in the position these guys are in, and I could tell them, like, here's some game for you.
Yeah.
And then Yachty just being like, you ain't in a position to talk to nobody because I made you, you little bitch. And it's just like Yachty, what the fuck is happening right now? This shit's crazy. This is crazy. All right, so I'm gonna start giving you Yachty energy.
Bro,
see how this goes.
Bro, like, what are we talking about right now? Jesus
I mean, and
Christ.
Yachty, you should feel good. Like, Complex put you way too high on their list. Fuck that Complex list, by the way. Sidebar. I'm not gonna be out here speaking on Atlanta rap and top 50.
Yeah.
Because I don't like a lot of the rappers on that list. I did not consume enough music to have an intelligent take on who should be where on that list.
Just to be fair.
I will say this.
What?
Lil Nas X should have never been on that list.
What was he, 50?
If there was 51 rappers, Lil Nas X shouldn't be 51. If there was 100 rappers, he shouldn't be 100, right?
I didn't even know he was from Atlanta.
And Atlanta didn't even know he was from there either, right? Like, that's how that was.
He's just from the state of Georgia.
He's from Georgia, right? Sci-Hi the Prince was way too low.
Oh, man.
JID was way too low.
Way too low. Way too low. I'll stand on that right now. Right. Way too low, bro.
I don't know how you put Andre #1, but you put Big Boy 8. That shit does not make sense to me.
Well, that was foul, too.
I don't know how you put the Migos as separate positions because they have solo projects, even though they made their thing together.
Right.
Rest in peace to Takeoff. Rest in peace to Takeoff, who I hear is the best lyricist out of the three. I don't know because I don't consume that much Migos music. I don't know how you have any of these Migos niggas above Killer Mike. I don't get it. So
that was foul.
Well, they didn't. I should rest in peace to Offset. They did not put him above Killer Mike. Takeoff. I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize. Rest in peace to Takeoff. They did not put him above Killer Mike. Right. They put the other two niggas above Killer Mike.
It was just all back. It was just like, bruh.
So Quavo's better than okay. So fuck that list. I only brought it up to say, Yachty, you made the list. You should be happy right now, my guy. Like, they're telling you you're one of the like top 25 rappers. Where the fuck they had you from Atlanta?
Hey man, look, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Yachty. I think he's experiencing his own individual growing pains. I think he's taking it out on Mitch. I don't know. That was just like,
he's taking it out on Caribou and the Concrete Boys.
He's looking. I think he's feeling like, look, you guys are all a bunch of ungrateful bitches.
He's definitely got that energy right now. I brought you niggas with me, you ungrateful motherfuckers, right? Like, that's how he feels.
And then he said, I'm putting cases on
all you bitches. Mitch, I made you, bitch. Caribou, I wrote all your rhymes. You ain't like shit.
I've dressed you.
I dressed your clothes. I fed you the food on my table. God damn it.
Hey, what have you been hanging out with Kanye too much? Jesus Christ, relax.
Fucking Yachty,
bro, relax. You know, so it's very out of character for Yachty, I would say.
But I'm in between because I'm kind of like, shit. Like, hey, Yachty, if you take this energy to the booth, maybe some flames might come out of that. I don't know, but you don't need to go off on Mitch, whether you built him, whether you gave him the money out of your pocket, like whatever it is.
I don't know, but it's just
like, you don't do that in public, bro.
Not in public.
Not in public.
Come on, man.
Man,
come on, Yachty.
As a podcast with a co-host, if you have something to say, you turn the cameras off. We say it off camera.
Hey, man, you have a choice. You know, like, this gets edited and then like put out. And you said, nah,
they don't
that shit in.
Yeah, they don't stream this podcast. I don't believe.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they
stream.
Not
live, right? Like, when we say we're live, we're not actually live. Like, you know, this isn't coming out.
Yeah, this is not fucking act. Okay, we're not turning on. This isn't a what's her nuts on Kick. You know what I'm talking about, Drake. So this isn't that. Okay, we don't need to go live.
There you go.
You can edit this out. And you could have just cut that little section out and just handle it private. Also, if we ever bring a guest on here, any guest we bring, and if you're watching this, we will never handle personal shit.
We're not gonna hash
while
out.
you are sitting right there being like, why the fuck am I here? You guys need a moment? Should I walk away? Jesus,
Oh my
man.
God, dude.
Fuck's sake.
Come on. What are we doing,
That
dude?
shit was crazy.
Oh man.
Yachty, man. I think you need to just go. I appreciate the Drake unfollow. And I understand that shit too, because you put on a fucking cape and boots for that nigga right after this rap beef. And for this nigga, you put the whole fucking Superman outfit on to try and fucking say this nigga. And then this nigga had the nerve to take you off the leak track. Like y'all can't even make money off this. Took you off the leak track, right?
That's fucked up.
So I get it, but Yachty, why don't you just go sit for a little while, think about who you have around you and who you want to have around you. What's his album called? What's the one that I like?
Let's start here.
Why don't you go get back in that energy, get back in that inspiration,
Right.
And maybe that's where you go from here on out. Maybe rap's just not for you.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. You know what this feels like? This feels like when you would go over to like your friend's house, and then your friend got in trouble, like with their mom or something, and then like their mom was yelling at them, and you were just kind of like caught in between.
Yeah.
You were like,
and you were just like,
should I leave?
should I leave?
You know, like maybe like your friend goes out to the other room, and then you just hear everything, and you're kind of like. And your friend comes back crying, and you're just like,
all right, bro, I'm gonna take off.
I think my mom wants me home, so I think I'll just go.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? My mom just called me and said I gotta get back. You know.
Yeah.
Hot dogs are ready.
I'll see you tomorrow, maybe.
He's like, man, fuck my mom, man. Fuck, man.
That's what this feels like right now. And it's just like awkward.
Hey, Mitch. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So there's that.
But also keep your head up, man.
Yeah,
you know
but yeah,
like come on.
As they say on the East Coast, keep your head, man. Keep your head,
man. And do the knowledge.
Yeah, you know what? I can't even say that, Mitch, because I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened that inspired that reaction out of Yachty. Like
that's true.
I have no idea. Like,
Oh,
did you fucking tell him "fuck you, Yachty" before that? And then he was like, "Bitch, who the fuck are you talking to right now?" Like, I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
But Mitch, hold your head, bro.
Oh man, hold your head. Oh my God.
Yo,
man.
wow. All right. So as we you look, Drake, could you take a week off? Because I don't want to talk about you next week. It's gonna be a similar take to you being very mediocre. So
you know he's not going to.
Please do that, Chris Brown. I do appreciate your music. I'm gonna summarize everything that we talked about today.
He's good.
Chris Brown, I appreciate.
He's still gonna go on a rant, so I don't know.
I mean, he shouldn't.
He's going to.
All right. Well, Chris Brown, we appreciate your music. Male vocalist, do better.
Do better, man. Come on.
Chloe, my favorite project, R&B out from the female vocalist this year. Chloe, well done.
There you go.
In my top 5 R&B projects this year, it's really well done. So nice. Everybody check out Chloe's joint. You know what I mean? If you're white and you're aspiring to be a rapper, my advice to you is don't. Do something else. That's my advice to you is to just go on ahead and go to MIT like your parents set aside the money for and just do something else.
Please.
Because we're closing the gates on anybody who's not of the cloth, in the culture, feeling the culture, here for the culture, the whole nine. So it's time to gatekeep. I think the industry's headed to a weird space, Nene.
I think it is.
I think the industry's headed to a weird space.
I
think we're gonna have to start paying for music again.
You think so?
I think we're gonna have to start paying for music again. I think, mark my words. Episode 10. Everybody remember this.
Episode 10.
Appreciate y'all who's been on the ride for 10 episodes. We appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, notification bell, comment, everything. We need it. I think the music industry is going to. Streaming has made music worthless.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. So anybody can put out music now. You kind of don't even need the label to do it.
Right.
You just need a way to go viral. Thank you, TikTok. Right. So you don't need them for anything. Artists can develop and refine themselves, so you don't need A&Rs and all this other kind of shit, right? And so now they're consolidating into a distribution cartel.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So now we're going to say, think of it like this. So you distribute your music on Apple, Spotify, or whatever your streaming service is. UMG will go to these streaming services and say, hey, if you make it insanely expensive for an independent artist to come to you to do this, and you give us a break, then we're going to be filtering all these people to you to distribute their music.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. So then you go to Apple and then you say, fuck UMG, fuck Warner, fuck Sony, fuck everybody, right? I'm going to go negotiate with Apple. And Apple's like, oh, you're a little small shit, right? So then they hit you over the head for that shit. And UMG is like, hey, we can get that for way cheaper over here. For you. You're likely to go there because they're talking about giving you more out of the thing.
Right.
Spending less money to get your music distributed.
Right.
Or you enter into a license agreement with them, and then now they actually own what you're doing and can do and stuff like that. So they're going to license it because they're like, hey, we can get your shit everywhere because we're a distribution cartel now.
Right.
Right. And I think that because streaming has made music worthless, the only way for them to start turning profit is for them to start charging.
Right.
Right. And I don't think we're going to go back to CDs. Right. Because if you put a fucking CD deck in my car now, I'm likely not going to buy it. Right. Yeah.
What the
fuck? May as well just get some A-tracks and all kinds of shit.
There you go. Let's go all the way back.
Yeah. Let's go all the way back. I will get a vinyl though. So, but you know, and I think that the iTunes way of getting music is going to come back. And then we're really going to find out if you niggas can stand the test, because going in that, so Yachty, going and asking someone to pay $12 to listen to an entire Yachty album and having people stream it because they paid Apple $10 or whatever it is to stream the entire catalog that Apple has available. Those are two vastly different things.
Having to sell just one of something.
Oh man,
is way different
than
trying to get someone's eyes or ears or whatever on a free thing. Two totally different things.
Two totally different things.
I'm not even gonna try to lie to you.
And the music industry was making money hand over fist, and it was easy to monetize acts when people actually had to go buy the thing.
Right.
But because we don't have to do that anymore, that's not a profitable business model for a record label. So now they're all just consolidating into a distribution channel. So now make all the music you want. Nobody will hear that shit.
Right.
Unless you come through us.
Right.
It's getting wild out here. So black people, let's close the gate, because they're getting ready. All you black artists who think y'all fucking can make music out here, what Tyler was talking about is, if you don't love music, you're about to get cold out of the music industry because your shit won't get distributed.
Somebody put me on the leash, I'm bucking wild like the AK, cause it came from